What you making?
Cookies.
Oh yeah? What kind?
Nipples.
Wow, I can't wait to come home for some nipples.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to The American Abroad. If you're new here, my name is Hannah, and today I'm filming in my lovely kitchen, and I'm actually going to be baking Christmas cookies for you guys. Now, this recipe was given to me by my German professor, and apparently it is a Spezialität aus Frankreich. That means it's a specialty from France. So not entirely German, but I'm interested anyways. My German professor gave us all recipes to make cookies for an assignment earlier last week. So these are the cookies we're going to be making. They're kind of like sugar cookies with hazelnuts on them. And then on top of the cookies, there's like this egg white, creamy, fluffy thing that I can't remember what the name is at the moment. So I'm going to be trying my hand in making these today. So I'm going to kind of go through everything that I have with me. Of course, I have the eggs, which I will separate from the yolks and the whites. I have hazelnut, whole hazelnuts, maybe, out of the shell, yes? I hope I got the right ground hazelnuts. I don't know if I needed like the full-on grounded powder or this one, so we're gonna find out. Sugar, I've got butter, I have salt, cinnamon, and an XXL bag of flour. For this recipe, I'm going to be using 2 bowls and a hand mixer with, I guess, just the dough hooks. Are these dough hooks? I don't know. Maybe I should call this Hannah's test kitchen because I'm a little afraid of what's going to come out of this experiment. That's what I'm going to call it, an experiment. I'm not used to using scales, but, you know, when in Germany, I guess, or Europe, or everywhere else in the world, I don't know. Just gonna throw that in. This is gonna be fun for everybody watching me completely fail cooking these cookies. Cooking? Baking? What am I doing? Yeah, that one. I'm baking. 18, 19, 22, 20, oh, 21, 20. Look at me. Mid. Check. So I guess while I'm doing this, I can kind of talk about my semester. I actually finished my second full semester of college today with my final exam. So I'm super excited about that. It has been one interesting semester in a very good way. I've been really just overall happy with my experience here. Gonna put the zucchini in. Overall, my classes were really interesting. I really enjoyed the classes that I chose, you know, partially because I needed them for my major, but also because I was interested in them. Hazelnuts. The semester in general was really easy. In terms of, you know, in comparison to my home university and the classes that I've been taking here. I've been pretty much making A's in all of my classes, which is not unusual for me.
Was macht ihr?
Kekse.
Nippel- Brustwarzenkekse.
Ja, genau.
Aha. Cool.
I think I definitely could have talked about my classes more throughout the semester, but honestly, when thinking about it, there was just nothing really exciting about what I was doing. It was very just with the motions and doing language classes, so I didn't really feel a need to talk about my classroom experiences, but I definitely want to film a video kind of like my day in a life here in Lüneburg and with USAC, particularly starting next semester because of all the very exciting things that are going on. I have really, really cool classes that I want to talk about. I want to show y'all. I have an internship opportunity that I definitely want to talk about. I'm actually going to be interning at a nearby gymnasium here in Lüneburg and just helping local students learn English as a foreign language. So hopefully I can hone those skills when I'm actually teaching foreign language and, I don't know, get a good experience out of that.
Sorry, I'm in your filming space.
No, you're actually not.
Radio.
Hello.
Now I am.
terms of my Christmas plans, I do not have plans to go home. I'm actually going to be staying here for the holidays. However, my family is coming to visit me, so I'm really excited about that. This is going to be the first time that we all are spending Christmas away from home. I'm excited to kind of show them around and, you know, show them a country that I really enjoy living in and will probably live in after undergrad. But as of right now, my plans are to spend what I have deemed German Christmas with Sebastian's family, and then to spend American Christmas with my family, obviously. But I've just been running around, making sure that I get all of my Christmas presents together, making sure that all of our plans are kind of solidified in terms of what I want them to see, as well as making sure that transportation is taken care of when getting them to and from the airport. And other than that, the biggest news that I have is that I signed my first lease on my first apartment in the US, so I'm super excited about that because it's a really large step in, you know, my head of becoming an adult, I guess. So I'm super excited to be living with my friends and obviously getting to decorate the apartment just a little bit. Let me wash my hands. The egg white thing is called a meringue. Oh, yes! I think what I really wanted to talk about today, you know, and it's not anything in terms of Christmas. It's not necessarily something that's super happy. It's regarding study abroad depression. Study abroad depression is something that a lot of people go through, actually. It's very common, and it's something that when I was applying for study abroad, every single program and on the majority of my applications, there was a large focus on dealing with study abroad depression. Now, before I get into this, I definitely want it to be clear that this is not a video on how to necessarily deal with study abroad depression, because for me, study abroad depression is very unique to each person and unique to every person that experiences it. Study abroad affects people in many different ways, and with people in different mindsets when they come into study abroad, it can be difficult to kind of pinpoint what exactly you're going to feel. Some people feel homesickness, for example. They just miss home and the comforts of home and, you know, being taken care of, or they miss their favorite restaurant back home that they can't exactly get here in Germany. And that's okay. That's justifiable, you know. It's okay to miss home. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with study abroad depression. However, sometimes it can feel very lonely, and it can feel like you're the only person that's dealing with it, which is not the case. You're just dealing with it in ways that are different to other people's experiences. When I was applying for study abroad, I forever saw this W. This culture shock W. That's all that they would talk about is culture shock W. You're going to experience it. You can't run away from it. In many ways, it was true. Basically, what the culture shock W is a W diagram that kind of shows you the progression from the minute of arrival into your study abroad host country to your home country. Now, today I'm just going to talk about, you know, from arrival to being here in Germany and kind of my experiences with that. So to first explain the first part of the W, we're going to start at the top. And this is where your spirits are high. This is called the honeymoon phase. Of course, you know, there are a lot of different ways that you can express your contentment and your enjoyment within the honeymoon phase. A lot of people find that their new host country is exciting and new and perfect and everything that they've ever wanted in a study abroad experience. Some people might really enjoy the food. They might really enjoy the culture. They might really enjoy the language. It affects everybody in different ways. And this can last for a few days, up to a few weeks, maybe even a month or two. However, right around 6 weeks in, you'll drop down into this conflict or culture shock phase. And this will generally be surfaced by something that you experienced. You might not know exactly what that experience was, but it'll bring your spirits down way low, to the point that you start developing this sense of depression. If you've never experienced depression, it can be a very scary thing. You can be super emotional. You can even not understand why you're feeling certain ways and why you feel this way or you're thinking a certain way, and it can be very scary for somebody who's never experienced it, or even to people who have experienced it. It's a very unexplainable experience. And in this conflict and culture shock phase, you'll kind of experience this feeling of discontent with where you're at. And it doesn't have to be a negative, it can be very neutral. You know, nothing will be new and exciting anymore. It won't be as perfect as you thought it was. You'll start seeing differences as negative and wishing that everything was the same as it is in your home country. But that's not always the case. Different cultures are different. That's the truth. And then another couple weeks will go by and you'll go into the recovery phase. And this is recovering from your conflict or your culture shock or even your depression. And during this phase, you kind of feel the sense of content, I would say, where you're content with where you are. You understand that study abroad shouldn't be taken for granted and that this experience is a really unique and unforgettable experience that you should be enjoying. Most people get to this phase, and don't worry if you feel like that it's going to take forever. It won't last forever. And if it does last for more than a few weeks, or maybe even more than a month or two, I would definitely go seek therapeutic help if you can. I know from my program, at least, they do offer therapy and therapeutic services if requested or if needed. So definitely talk to your provider about the services that they offer in terms of depression and maybe even anxiety regarding study abroad. In terms of my experience, I actually went through study abroad depression, I would say all the way through the month of October. I wouldn't say that I was homesick because throughout this entire experience, I honestly can say that I haven't been homesick. I really do enjoy living here. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. However, I did get the sense of, you know, the newness wearing off and not feeling like I was in a new super cool place anymore. It was more of a place that I live, in a place that I go to school, and there's nothing else really exciting about it. I still found the town and the city just absolutely beautiful, but it didn't blow me away anymore. It was just there, and I was there. And this lasted for about a month, and it didn't, I didn't dig myself out of it until actually after my trip from France. And there are many reasons for that, but the main reason I think was the language barrier in France. Don't get me wrong, French is a beautiful language. It was a beautiful country to visit. The entire time that I was there, I was thinking, oh man, you know, this country's beautiful. I can't wait to come back here. But I just want to go home. And with that, I want to go home. It wasn't, I want to go back to the States. It was, I want to go back to Germany. Because when I was there were times when we couldn't find anybody that spoke either of the languages that we spoke. And the entire weekend I spent asking people or just, you know, starting conversations with bonjour, parlez-vous anglais? Or parlez-vous allemand? Things that I learned online and through translators because I wouldn't be able to communicate with them otherwise. And I didn't want to assume that they spoke English by just asking straight up if they spoke English. You know, I wanted to make sure that they felt comfortable and that I was, you know, being respectful to their culture and their language. During that trip, I even pulled out Italian that I haven't used in over 2 years, so it was just a really eye-opening experience for me, and that fixed my study abroad depression overnight. I was so happy to come back here and be able to speak German to anybody, strangers, people in restaurants, order my own food and not have to point and feel like I'm belittling these people because they don't speak my language, because I don't expect that from anybody. I'm very respectful towards other cultures on the basis that I know that my culture is not the number one most important. It's just not. But that was really eye-opening for me, and also for anybody that was going into this program or any other study abroad program without knowing anything about the language. And I can't imagine how hard it is, because I came here with a intermediate or a high intermediate language level, and I can get around just fine, I can order food just fine, I can hold conversations perfectly fine. can make sure that my thoughts are getting across, I guess, and they're easily understood, and I can't imagine how it feels to be in a country that, you know, you don't understand everything and not everybody understands you. But yeah, I think that's just something that I've been putting off talking about because, you know, you don't always want to talk about those things. You don't always want to talk about what's really going on in your life. And I feel like that I try to keep a relatively real self online. I don't, or at least I try not to be an entertainer, I guess. I don't try to be another person when I'm online. When I'm talking about culture, I'm really excited and I'm really interested in it because that's what I'm studying. I'm majoring in German language and culture. It's what I love. That's what I want to teach. But I just hope that through this, and for anybody that's studying abroad right now and you're watching this, you know that you're not alone and that it can be overcome. You just need to either try to figure out how to fix it yourself or overcome it yourself or seek help. It's okay to seek help. It's always okay. I'm gonna let the cookies set and I will just film a baking montage.